Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 10 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. And we've got news out of Kinston, where a man is now facing gun and drug charges. Kinston police say they pulled over 20-year-old Marquez Johnson yesterday on Hill Farm Road in Kinston. Now, during the stop, officers say they found evidence of narcotics violations, which led them to search the car. Officers found marijuana, drug paraphernalia, and a concealed handgun. Now, further investigation found that Johnson is a convicted felon and cannot have a firearm. Johnson was taken to the Lenoir County Jail, where he's facing the following charges: possession of a firearm by a felon, carrying a concealed gun, possession with intent to sell or deliver marijuana, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Now, warrants say that Johnson is facing a total $120,000 bond. And now we turn our attention to China, where President Xi Jinping has gathered about 26 world leaders to Beijing for a World War II commemoration parade that begins tomorrow. NBC's Janice Mackey-Freyer has more from Beijing.
It will be an historic gathering here for the military parade, which will show off China's latest missiles, fighter jets, and hardware, as well as its geopolitical clout, with the leaders of Russia, North Korea, Iran, and others joining Chinese leader Xi Jinping. The first time the leaders of those four countries will appear together. The parade is meant to commemorate the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II, but Western diplomats and dignitaries are avoiding the event because of Russian President Vladimir Putin, who's among the invited guests. Putin had a bilateral meeting today with Xi Jinping where they declared again how close their strategic partnership is. And at a summit of leaders over the weekend, Putin held hands with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi before they took a long car ride together. The idea for certain states to present an alternative to the U.S. and all of it helping Putin ease his political isolation even further since meeting with President Trump about Ukraine. The parade here will be China's largest ever, right through Tiananmen Square, and the security is intense. People living near the parade route aren't even allowed to look out the window. So this show of force tomorrow in Beijing will be very closely watched by the U.S., as it will also be its own show of unity. Janice Mackey-Freyer, NBC News, Beijing.
Thank you very much, Janice, for that report. We now turn to your weather forecast. Today has been a fairly sunny day thus far. Always got to double check out the window. Here's what it looks like through our News River cam. New Bern enjoying, again, maybe a few patchy clouds, but certainly more sun than cloud cover in the sky right now over the News River. 73-degree air temperature comes with a dew point in the mid-60s, up from where we were last week, but still a north-northeasterly wind, 13 miles an hour. Is helping keep that summertime humidity at bay for now. It's going to be returning coming up later on this week. Right now, air temperatures slowly warming into the low to mid 70s throughout most of eastern North Carolina. We do have a few areas, Ahoskie along with Roanoke Rapids, still in the upper 60s. Winds today out of the north-northeast coming in at a fairly strong clip, without any sort of storm system rolling by. A 7 to 15 mile per hour breeze again could get a little bit stronger coming up later on this afternoon. So these winds helping keep that humidity low currently, but later on this week we're going to see the winds weaken out of the northeast, swing around, and eventually bring back quite a bit of humidity later on in the week, particularly by the time we get to Friday and Saturday. I think we're going to be feeling like summertime is back in full. We're looking at overnight lows returning to the low 70s. Now, over the past 24 hours, most of eastern North Carolina has seen an increase in humidity. It's been fairly light, but that increase is only going to get more pronounced as we head towards Thursday and Friday. By Friday, again, dew points are expected to be back up into the 70s, making that summertime feel very much present throughout eastern North Carolina, throughout really the East Coast. Now, it all comes down to that cold front you're seeing further back towards the west. That is really the frontal boundary that's going to be giving us our next break in the humid and hot conditions that we'll see coming in Friday and Saturday. That front is expected to cross over the east coming up Saturday evening into Saturday night, and that will bring with it cooler air for the following Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week. Overnight lows will come back down from the low 70s for your Friday night and Saturday night into the mid 60s for your Sunday night and Monday night of next week. That's all we have time for today's 10 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, I hope you all have a wonderful day.
This hour of the WITN First Alert Desk is sponsored by ENC Pirate Realty.